references? Or you just wrote on behalf of what I spoke? Did you find the reference also? It would be even better if you can see the reference also and put that reference. That how the presiding deity of false ego is Sankarshan and how the presiding deity of intelligence is Pradyumna and mind is Aniruddha. There are many purports of Prabhupada it is stated. So when you are studying, you should take the reference also. Okay, where it is clearly mentioned, you can refer that. It is for your cultivation, for your deeper understanding and your conviction. And when you will speak, you must have the reference so that you are clear. You don't convey to anyone your speculation. We should never ever speak anything which we are not clear. Because what will happen is if you convey something which is incorrect, that people will immediately accept. Correct philosophy, you speak 100 times, people will not accept. This is the flaw in material nature. Anything which is biased or which is inaccurate, people will immediately accept it. Okay. So after hearing from Maitreya on how the material creation unfolds, it is the demigod's prayers. We will see how demigod's prayer has come in between the conversation of. Actually, if we see that Srimad Bhagavatam is a dialogue which is on multiple layers. First, we see the dialogue between Shukdev Goswami and Parikshit Maharaj. And in that assembly, there was also Suta Goswami. And Bhagavatam begins with the conversation of Suta Goswami with the sages of Naimisharanya. And we see in conversation of Sukdev Goswami and Parikshit Maharaj, the conversation of Maitreya Muni and Vidurji is also coming. There are multiple levels and layers of the speakers and hearers of Srimad Bhagavatam. Okay. So we go to the next verse. We covered till 38 yesterday. 39 verse is the demigod is speaking. Let us see whom demigods are speaking. Deva Uchuhu Namamate Padarvindam Prapanna Tapa Upshama Atapatram Yanmulaketa Yatayo Anja Soru Samsara Dukkham Bahir Utshipanti. The demigod said, O Lord, your lotus feet are like an umbrella for the surrendered soul. This is a very beautiful word. Atapatram. We are here in Govardhan. You remember the Garg Samhita verse? Namo Vrindavanankaya Tubhyam Golokamaline Purna Brahma Atapatraya. Purna Brahma is what? The Supreme Lord. And what the Supreme Lord did? He held Govardhan mountain like an umbrella. Atapatram. Atapatra means an umbrella. And under the protection of this umbrella, all the residents of Vrindavan came. So the word here is Atapatraha. So that is the umbrella like shelter. Yat Mool Ketu. Soul, protecting them from all the miseries of the material existence. Samsara Dukkham Bahir Ukshapanti. All the sages under the shelter throw off all material miseries. We therefore offer our respectful obeisances unto your lotus feet. There are many sages and saints who engage in trying to conquer rebirth and other material miseries. But of all of them, Those who take shelter under the lotus feet of the Lord can completely throw off all such miseries without difficulty. Others who are engaged in transcendental activities in different ways cannot do so. For them, it is very difficult. They may artificially think of becoming liberated without accepting the shelter of the lotus feet of the Lord. But that is not possible. One is sure to fall again to material existence from such false liberation, even though one may have undergone severe penance and austerities. This is the opinions of the demigods, who are not only well versed in Vedic knowledge, but are also the seers of the past, present, and future. The opinions of the demigods are valuable because the demigods are authorized to hold positions in the affairs of the universal management. We discussed this yesterday, that demigods are appointed agents by the Supreme Lord. Prabhupada is saying it. They are the appointed by the Lord as his confidential servants. Dhataryad asmin bhava isha jivas tapatrayana abhihita na sharmaha atmam labhante bhagavan stavangri chayam sa vidvansata shrema. O Father, O Lord, O Personality of Godhead, the living entities in the material world can never have any happiness because they are overwhelmed by the three kinds of miseries. Three tap. Tapa trayena abhihita na sharma atma labhante. So because they are always inflicted or overwhelmed by the three kinds of miseries, so in this material world, they can never experience any happiness. Therefore, they take shelter of the shade of your lotus feet, which are full of knowledge. Atma lavante bhagavan stavangri chayam savidyam ata ashrayema. So your lotus feet are the shelter which are full of knowledge, and we also take shelter of them. This is called intelligence. That because your lotus feet are shelter and full of knowledge for the surrendered soul, so we should also submit to you, surrender to you. The way of devotional service is neither sentimental nor mundane. It is the path of reality by which the living entity can attain the transcendental happiness of being freed from the three kinds of material miseries. Miseries arising from the mind and body. What is it called? Miseries arising from mind and body. Quickly, ये तो सबको पता होगा. बोलो प्रदीप, what is this misery called? Misery arising from mind and body.
Adhyatmika.
Yes, Adhyatmika. And from other living entities is Adi Bhautika. And coming from demigods and higher controllers is, what is it called, Reyanshi?
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, it is Adi Devik.
Very good. Very good. This is intelligence at its best. Good. Very alertly you are hearing. Good. Miseries arising from the mind and body, from the living entities, and from natural disturbances. Everyone who is conditioned by material existence, whether he be a man or beast or demigod or bird, must suffer from adhyatmika pains, those caused by one's mind and body, adi bhautika pains, those caused by other living entities, and adi devika pains, those due to supernatural disturbance. One's happiness is nothing but a hard struggle to get free from the miseries of conditional life. But there is only one way he can be rescued, and that is by accepting the shelter of the lotus feet of the personality of Godhead. The argument that unless one has proper knowledge, one cannot be freed from material miseries is undoubtedly true. But because the lotus feet of the Lord are full of transcendental knowledge, acceptance of his lotus feet completes that necessity. We have already discussed this point in the first canto. Vasudeva Bhagavati Bhakti yoga prayojita janayati va suvairagyam jnanam cha yad ahetukam. So what comes first? Vasudeva Bhagavati, unto the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Bhakti yoga prayojita. One who renders devotional service. So what is the result of rendering unalloyed devotional service to the Supreme Personality of Godhead? The effect is Janayati Asu Vairagyam. In his heart, detachment manifest. And also, not only detachment comes, he also receives the transcendental knowledge. There is no want of knowledge in the devotional service of Vasudeva, the personality of Godhead. He, the Lord, personally takes charge of dissipating the darkness of ignorance from the heart of a devotee. He confirms this in the Bhagavad Gita 10:10. Tesham satata yuktanam bhajatam priti purvakam dadami buddhi yogam tam yenamamupi te. Empiric philosophical speculation cannot give one relief from the threefold miseries of material existence. Simply to endeavor for knowledge without devoting oneself to the Lord is a waste of valuable time. What is it called? Simply to endeavor for knowledge without devotion. What is this path called? Simply to endeavor for knowledge without devotion. Manoram Prabhu?
That is Gyan Marg, Prabhuji, Gyan Yoga.
And more precisely? Yes, Dayashik Prabhu?
Prabhuji, Mayavadi.
Yes, impersonalism. Impersonalism. Without devotion, it has no result. It has no meaning. It is impersonalism. Text 41. Marganti yatte mukhapadma nidayesh chanda suparne rasayo vibhakte yasya aga marshado saritvaranya padam padam tirtha padam prapanna. Very beautiful verse. Wow. Padam padam tirtha padha prapanna. Lord are by themselves the shelter of all places of pilgrimage. The great clear-minded sages, carried by the wings of the Vedas, always search after the nest of your lotus-like face. This is the first line. Some of them surrender to your lotus feet at every step by taking shelter of the best of the river Ganges, which can deliver one from all sinful reactions. What is the word for Ganga here? Ganga is not message. Yasya agha marshoda sarid. Sarid is river. Varayah. Okay. The Paramhamsas are compared to the royal swans who make their nest on the petals of this flower. The Lord's transcendental bodily parts are always compared to the lotus flower. Because in the material world, the lotus flower is the last word in beauty. We have discussed at once, more than once, we have discussed why Krishna's beauty is compared only to lotus. His feet are compared to lotus. His navel is compared to lotus. His face is compared to lotus. All his bodily parts are only compared to lotus. Prabhupada is saying that the lotus flower is the last word in beauty. The most beautiful thing in the world is the Vedas or the Bhagavad Gita. Wow. Because therein knowledge is imparted by the personality of Godhead himself. The Paramhansas make his nest Since the Lord is the original source of all emanations, intelligent persons enlightened by Vedic knowledge seek the shelter of the Lord, just as birds who leave the nest search out the nest again to take complete rest. All Vedic knowledge is meant for understanding the Supreme Lord, as stated by the Lord in his Bhagavad Gita 15:15. Vedescha sarver ahameva vedyo. Intelligent persons who are like swans take shelter of the Lord by all means and do not hover on the mental plane by fruitless speculatingly on different philosophies. The Lord is so kind that he has spread the river Ganges throughout the universe, so that by taking bath in that holy river, everyone can get release from the reactions of sins which occur at every step. There are many rivers in the world which are able to evoke one's sense of God consciousness simply by once bathing in them, and the river Ganges is chief amongst them. In India, there are 5 sacred rivers: Ganges, Yamuna, Godavari, Narmada, and Kaveri. Every day you are doing that mantra. I said that one of the merits in Purushottam Mass is to take bath in the holy river. So how to go to the holy river? You can have the mantra effect. Gange che yamune cheva Godavari Saraswati Narmade Sindhu Kaveri Sanidhim Kuru. Sanidhim. So invoking all the rivers to come and reside where? In your pool of water which you will take bath. Okay? Just few seconds and you will get the merit. You can apply. Is it difficult? याद रखना डिफिकल्ट है, याद नहीं रहता है, भूल जाते हैं. So every day you can apply this mantra that you can normally apply daily also. There is no harm in it. There is always benefit. When you are applying tilak also, so in the water where you will dissolve the tilak, you should recite this mantra. Gange cha yamune chaiva Godavari Saraswati Narmade Sindhu Kaveri Jalayasmin Sanidhim Kuru. Jalayasmin, in this jala. Whether the jala is in the Anjuli to prepare tilak or whether the jala is in the bucket to take bath. करते हैं? कौन कर रहा है? Anyone who is doing it? I told you, I think, on the first day of Purushottam Mass also. Did I share or not? Yes, Ravindra Prabhu.
यस
आप कर रहे
प्रभु
हो?
जी, यस प्रभु जी, आप शेयर किए थे पहला भी.
किए थे ना, तो बेनिफिट लीजिए. आ जाएंगी, सारी आ जाएगी, एक की क्या बात है, 7 के साथ आ जाएंगी. गंगे च यमुने चैव गोदावरी सरस्वती नर्मदे सिंधु कावेरी. 7, all the 7. Okay, going forward. एंड आप लोग दीपदान भी कर रहे हैं मनोराम? आप दीपदान कर रहे हो शाम को रोज?
Yes, Prabhuji, in Rome we are doing, Prabhuji.
हाँ, wherever you do worship, वहां कर रहे हो ना?
Yes, Prabhuji.
एंड प्रदीप, you
Prabhuji, I'm doing good.
make your family members also do. They will get. एक कुबेर, आप सुन रहे हो क्या? आपका मोबाइल का वो तो आ रहा है लेकिन आपका वीडियो ऑफ है. हाँ,
हरे कृष्ण प्रभु जी, लाइट नहीं है प्रभु यहाँ.
गर्मी में लाइट नहीं है. तपस्या है. अच्छा, मैं जिस स्थान पे हूँ बहुत ही विशेष स्थान है, श्री रूप सेवा कुंज. मैंने आज कुछ फोटोज लोड किए, आप में से किसी का स्टेटस पर डाला था. अगली बार हम जब यहाँ गोवर्धन परिक्रमा पे आएंगे तो इस स्थान पे आप लोग कुछ जरूर लेके आऊंगा. दिस इज unimaginable place, very divine place, extremely divine place. The vibration is completely different. And we have the bhajan kutir of all the 6 Goswamis, very beautifully made. And we have very large गिरिराज गोवर्धन शिलास. मैंने अपने स्टेटस पर डाला, आज सुबह में गया था उस एरिया में सुबह 7 बजे. और वेरी ब्यूटीफुल, बहुत ही बढ़िया बनाया. यू विल फील दैट यू आर इन द ग्रूव्स ऑफ वृंदावन. इट इज कंप्लीटली a निकुंज. Very few people know and very few people come. Most people don't know. Okay. Simply by bathing in them, and the river Ganges is chief amongst them in India. There are 5 sacred rivers: the Ganges, Yamuna, Godavari, Narmada, and Kaveri. But the Ganges is the most sacred. The river Ganges and the Bhagavad Gita are chief sources of transcendental happiness for mankind. An intelligent person must take shelter of them to go back home, back to Godhead. Even Sripad Shankaracharya recommended that a little knowledge of Bhagavad Gita and the drinking quantity of Ganges water can save one from the punishment of Yamraj. Who knows this verse? Very beautiful verse. Prabhupada has quoted this verse here. A little drop of Ganges water, a little bit of Bhagavad Gita can save you from Yamraj. What is the verse? नहीं जानते आप लोग? बहुत फेमस वर्स है शंकराचार्य का. बोलो रम्या, आता है आपको? भगवद गीता की ग्लोरी है.
जी प्रभु जी, आपने तो बताया था जब वो
मैं कितनी बार बोलता
वहां
हूँ, मैं
पे
कहीं भी.
गए थे हरिद्वार में.
हाँ, वहां पे भी बताया था. और जब हम
गीता ऐसे ही.
हाँ, भगवद गीता किंचित अधीता. अगर कोई भगवद गीता किंचित का मतलब बिल्कुल लिटिल. अधीता मीन्स इज टू स्टडी विद इंटेलिजेंस. कृष्णा says in 1870 ना, one who studies this Bhagavad Gita, he worships me by his intelligence. अभिधीष्यते. तो भगवद गीता किंचित अधीता and गंगा जल लव कनिका पीता. So 2 things he is glorifying. Bhagavad Gita Kinchit Adita and Ganga Jal Lav Kanika Pita. Sakrata Yena Murari Samarcha. So both these things are considered to be that the person is having Sakrat Yena Murari. Murari is Krishna, who is the killer of the demon of Mura. Samarcha means he is having dialogue with Krishna. Kriyete Yena Yamena na Charcha. So one who has conversation or dialogue with Krishna, mainly is Bhagavad Gita, then he cannot have any dialogue with Yamaraj. Yamaraj cannot have any dialogue with him. So if you have dialogue with Krishna, then Yamaraj cannot have any dialogue with you. That means you are out of his range. He and his messengers and his men cannot touch you. ठीक है, याद कर लो. भगवत गीता किंचित अधीता, गंगा जल लव कनिका पीता, क्रियते ये न मुरारी समर्चा, क्रियते तस्य यमेन न चर्चा. ढूंढ लेना. इट इज बाय शंकराचार्य, वन ऑफ द ग्लोरीज ऑफ भगवद गीता. Prabhupada is quoting. Even Sripad Shankaracharya recommended a little knowledge of the Bhagavad Gita kinchit adhita, and Ganga Jal Lav Kanika Pita, and drinking a little quantity of Ganges water. Kriyete yenna murari samarcha, kriyete tasya yamena na charcha. One can save from the punishment of Yamraj. यश्रद्धया श्रुतवत्या च भक्त्या सम्मार्जमन्ते हृदये अवधायः ज्ञानेन वैराग बलेन धीरा व्रजेम तत्तेयांग्री सरोज पीठम. Simply by hearing about your lotus feet with eagerness and devotion, and by meditating upon them within the heart, one at once becomes enlightened with knowledge, and on the strength of detachment, one becomes pacified. We must therefore take shelter of the sanctuary of your lotus feet. The miracles of meditating on the lotus feet of the Lord with eagerness and devotion are so great that no other process can compare to it. The minds of materialistic persons are so disturbed that it is almost impossible for them to search after the supreme truth by personal regulative endeavors. But even such materialistic men with little eagerness for hearing about the Lord's transcendental name, fame, qualities, etc., can surpass all other methods of attaining knowledge and detachment. The conditioned soul is attached to the bodily conception of the self, and therefore he is in ignorance. The culture of self-knowledge can bring about detachment from material affection. And without such detachment, there is no meaning to knowledge. The most stubborn attachment for material enjoyment is sex life. One who is attached to sex life is to be understood as devoid of knowledge. Knowledge must be followed by detachment. That is the way of self-realization. These two essentials for self-realization, knowledge and detachment, becomes manifest very quickly if one performs devotional service to the lotus feet of the Lord. The word dhira is very significant in this connection. A person who is not disturbed even in the presence of causes of disturbance is called dhira. Sri Yamunacharya says, since my heart has been overwhelmed by the devotional service of Lord Krishna, I cannot even think of sex life. And if thoughts of sex come upon me, I at once feel disgust. A devotee of the Lord becomes an elevated dhira by the simple process of meditating in eagerness on the lotus feet of the Lord. How to become a dhira? Is to meditate in eagerness. Devotional service entails being initiated by a bona fide spiritual master and following his instructions in regard to hearing about the Lord. It's very important. If one is not initiated, then the process does not begin. Such a bona fide spiritual master is accepted by regularly hearing from him about the Lord. The improvement in knowledge and detachment can be perceived by devotees as an actual experience. Lord Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu strongly recommended this process, hearing from a bona fide devotee. And by following this process, one can achieve the higher results, conquering all other methods. क्रिएशन में ये कहाँ से आ गया? कहाँ क्रिएशन चल रहा था? कैसे मटेरियल एग्जिस्टेंस स्टेप बाय स्टेप एग्जिबिट होता है? अभी यहाँ कुछ और ही आ गया. ऐसा बहुत कुछ बार है श्रीमद् भागवतम में. कितने वर्सेस हैं इसमें? लंबी प्रेयर्स हैं. डेमिगॉड्स की प्रेयर्स आ गई. किसमें? क्रिएशन में चल रही है. ओह, प्रेयर से ही एंड हो रहा है. ओ सुप्रीम सेल्फ गिव अस. और नेक्स्ट क्या है? क्रिएशन ऑफ द यूनिवर्सल फ्रॉम. फिर ऋषि हुआ चाह. उसके बाद ऋषि लोग कहेंगे. बड़ा चैप्टर है. 50 51 वर्ष है. हम कहाँ तक आए हैं? 41. हमने 41 तक कर लिया. Okay, I'll stop here because I have to honor the schedule. Very important to honor the schedule. And I hope you are all observing your Purushottam Mass with enthusiasm. Take best benefit of it. Anything can happen to anyone. Yesterday, I received one message from Ganesh that our Gopal Prabhu was admitted. I spoke to him this morning. Gopal treating person. He was admitted in the hospital because he had a stone problem. by Krishna's grace, the stone basically was discharged without operating him. So no one knows what can happen to whom, when. So we should try to utilize the time, whatever we have, in trying to maximize our devotional service. Thank you very much. Hare Krishna. If you have to say something, please speak. If there is some question or some contribution. Yes, Darshil Bro.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji. Prabhuji, in the text number 42, in the translation, simply by hearing about your lotus feet with eagerness and devotion. Prabhuji, this means that hearing about transcendental name, fame, qualities. This is the answer, Prabhuji, for that.
Yes, of course.
Yes.
Yeah. Anything and everything which is connected to the Supreme Lord. But how one has to follow Prabhupada is saying that one has to be initiated by a spiritual master and with eagerness hear from him. Prabhupada is stressing so much on this. Please see. Devotional service entails being initiated by a bona fide spiritual master and following the instructions in regard to hearing about the Lord. Such bona fide spiritual master is expected by regularly hearing from him about the Lord. The improvement in knowledge and detachment can be perceived by devotees as an actual experience. I'm very happy. Even if I asked you at 7 o'clock, you 7 people are there every day. Yesterday, Manini Mataji could not come, so I asked Dayashil to call her. Yeah. And I asked you to call Sonika also. She is not to be seen. Purushottam is missing. Did you tell Purushottam?
Yes, Prabhuji. I
Achha.
think he will be having some work, so he will be
His,
late for him.
his family members could have joined. What to do? I mean, I was thinking then, it will be gone. Then in Purushottam Mass, this first few days, we cannot have class. My schedule to sleep today is 7 o'clock. But it is what time? It is already 7:30, 7:40. By the time I will sleep, it will become 8. And it is so difficult. I'm so tired in so many days. Directly from the airport, I came here to Govardhan. And Maharaj's schedule is very strict. Very early morning. Today was 2:30. Yesterday was 3:30 a.m. chanting. Today was 2:30 and tomorrow it is 2 a.m. 2 a.m. chanting starts. Volunteers come at 1:45. Maharaj wakes up. अरे ये क्या किया, इसका मुंडन करा दिया क्या? इधर ना गौरांगी, इधर पहचान में नहीं आ रही है.
प्रभु जी, इसको इचिंग हो रहा था और बहुत पसीना आ रहा था.
मान गई है, चिल्लाई नहीं. तुम्हारा जो ये बायस है ना, ये जाएगा नहीं. वो कोई बाल में फर्क नहीं पड़ेगा. तुम 10 बार करा लो, 100 बार करा लो. अभी इसके बाल थोड़े बड़े हो गए थे तो ठीक हो जाती. हाँ, वो टेढ़े मेढ़े नहीं रहते, तुमने फिर
प्रभु जी
कटवा.
बहुत परेशान कर रही थी. उसमें वो क्ले लगा देती थी, वो होता नहीं था. वो जो खिलौना वाला क्ले आता है, बहुत परेशान करती थी वो बाल में.
चलो ठीक है. अभी गर्मी में तो ठीक है, बच्चा खेलेगा, कोई दिक्कत नहीं है. लेकिन स्कूल में जाएगा तो बच्चे चिढ़ाएंगे. इसके सर के ऊपर तो हाथ रखेंगे, तबला बजाएंगे. चलो ठीक है. हाँ? हरे कृष्णा. श्रीमद् भागवतम की जय. श्री प्रभुपाद की जय. हाँ बोलो भाई. दयाशील, तो क्लियर तो है? क्या क्या प्रश्न है आपका इसमें? यही तो कर रहे हैं हम लोग यही तो कर रहे हैं. और क्या कर रहे हैं? हम इसी को फॉलो करने का पूरा प्रयास कर रहे हैं. श्रवणम और कीर्तनम का कॉम्प्रोमाइज नहीं करने का प्रयास करते हैं.
Prabhuji, accepting shelter also like instruction of the Lord.
हाँ,
Shelter of lotus feet.
it is coming through his representative only ना. So hearing के लिए इतनी कीननेस है दोनों तरफ से, तभी तो मैं भी तैयार हो गया कि नहीं भाई, हमारा जो हियरिंग का शेड्यूल है वो डिस्टर्ब नहीं होना चाहिए। थोड़ा कम समय का कर लेंगे, कोई बात नहीं, पूरा 1 घंटे नहीं सही, 40 मिनट से ही सही। कल भी देखेंगे, कल भी देखेंगे। हाँ, कल 7:15 से 8 तक का, क्योंकि बस कल कल का रिगरस है काफी, उसके बाद परसों से इजी हो जाएगा। और मैंने आपको बता दिया, आप पहले ही बता देना, सैटरडे को मॉर्निंग में ही डाल देना कि अब की बार क्लास मंडे को होगी, ठीक है। टाइमिंग बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट है ना। अगर आपने, मैंने कल आप लोग को कहा था कि मैं क्लास सुबह 7 बजे लूंगा, आप लोगों से पूछा भी था, आपने डाला ही नहीं, भूल जाते हैं सब। हाँ, ये रिस्पॉन्सिबिलिटी लेनी चाहिए। और वीडियो अभी डालो, अभी जस्ट डालो, किसी को जो जिसका मिस हुआ है वो देख सकता है। और आप कल डालोगे तो फिर नहीं देख पाएंगे, वो रह जाएगा। सर्विस करने के लिए बहुत कॉन्शियसनेस चाहिए भाई। सर्विस करना, इसलिए डिवोशनल सर्विस के लिए पूरा कृष्णा कॉन्शियस पर्सन चाहिए। हरे कृष्णा। श्री पुरुषोत्तम मास की जय, श्रील प्रभुपाद की जय, निताई गौर प्रेम।
Hare Krishna, Rabindra Prabhuji.
Yes, Prabhu.
We'll study that, recite that verses, Prabhuji.
Yes, Manoram Prabhu.
Yeah, Ram
मनोरम
Prabhu.
प्रभु
Today
या
your turn.
दाहिनी माता जी, दोनों में कोई एक व्यक्ति। मनोरम प्रभु, इज इट
Okay.
ओके फॉर यू टू रिसाइट द
हरे
वर्सेस?
कृष्णा प्रभु जी।
Hare Krishna Prabhuji. Yeah, there is some
ये
answer from Mataji.
नहीं, उनकी आवाज नहीं आ रहा है, आप बोलिए इसमें मेरे भाई।
ओके, ठीक है प्रभु जी, थोड़ा माफ कर दीजिए, गलत होगा, बट विल ट्राई टू रिसाइट द वर्सेस। ओके, so chapter 15, we are reading verse by verse. श्री भगवान उवाच ऊर्ध्वमूलम् अधोशाखम् अश्वत्थं प्राहुरव्ययम् छन्दांसि यस्य पर्णानि यस्तं वेद स वेदवित् अधश्च ऊर्ध्वं प्रसृतस्तस्य शाखा गुणः प्रवृद्धा विषयप्रबाला अधश्च मूलानि अनुसन्ततानि कर्मानुबन्धीनि मनुष्यलोके नारूपमस्येह ततोपलभ्यते न नान्तो न चादिर्न च सम्प्रतिष्ठा अश्वत्थमेनं सुवीरमूलम् असङ्गशास्त्रेण दृढेन चित्वा तथा पदं तत् परिमार्गितव्यं यस्मिन् गता न निवर्तन्ति भूय तमेव चाद्यं पुरुषं प्रपद्ये यथा प्रभृति प्रसृत पुराणे निर्माममोह जितसङ्गदोष आध्यात्मनित्या विनिवृत्तकाम द्वन्द्वैर्विमुक्ता सुखदुःखसङ्गे गच्छन्ति अमूढपदम् अव्ययं तत् न तद्भास्यते सूर्य न शशाङ्क न पावक यद्गत्वा न निवर्तन्ते तद्धाम परमं मम ममैवांश जीवलोके जीवभूत सनातनः मनसष्टानि इन्द्रियाणि प्रकृतिस्थानि कर्षति शरीरं यत् अवाप्नोति यत् च अपि उत्क्रामतीश्वरा गृहीत्वैतानि संयाति वायुर्गन्धान् इवाश्रयात् श्रोत्रं चक्षुषस्पर्शनं रसनं ग्रहणम् एव च अधिष्ठाय मनश्चायं विषयान् उपसेवते उत्क्रमन्तं स्थितं वापि भुञ्जनं वा गुणान्वितं विमूढानानुपश्यन्ति पश्यन्ति ज्ञानचक्षुषा यातन्तयोगिनश्चैनं पश्यन्ति आत्मनि अवस्थितं यातन्त अपि अकृतात्मान नैनं पश्यन्ति अचेतसः यददित्यगतं तेज जगद्भास्यते अखिलं यत् चन्द्रमासि यत् चाग्नौ तत् तेज विद्धि मामकम् गम् अविश्य च भूतानि धारयामि अहम् ओजस उष्णामि चौषधि सर्व समभूत रसात्मकः अहं वैश्वानरा भूत्वा प्राणिनां देहम् आश्रिता प्राणपानसमायुक्त पचामि अन्नं चतुर्विधं सर्वस्य चाहं हृदि सन्निविष्ट मत्ता स्मृतिर्ज्ञानम् अपोहनं च वेदैश्च सर्वैरहमेव वेद वेदान्तकृद्वेदविद् एव चाहं द्वौ इमौ पुरुषौ लोके क्षरश्चाक्षर एव च क्षरः सर्वाणि भूतानि कुतस्थ अक्षर उच्यते उत्तमपिता यलुकत्रयम् अविश्य अक्षरम् अतीत अहम् अक्षरादपि च उत्तमा अतोऽस्मि लोके वेदे च प्रतीतः पुरुषोत्तमः य माम् एवम् असम्मूढ जानाति पुरुषोत्तमं स सर्वविद् भजन्ति मां सर्वभावेन भारत इति गुह्यतमं शास्त्रम् इदम् उक्तं मया नघ एतद्बुधा बुद्धिमान् ईश्वरात् कृतश्च भारत। थैंक यू प्रभु जी, गलत हुआ है बट आई थिंक यस।
वेरी नाइस प्रभु जी, आपका बिल्कुल सही हुआ।
नो प्रभु जी।
थैंक यू फॉर रिसाइडिंग। तो तुम्हारो माननीय माता जी आप करेंगे कल?
हरे कृष्ण प्रभु जी। ये पुरुषोत्तम प्रभु जी।
हाँ, चैप्टर 15
जी जी प्रभु जी, ठीक है
ये
प्रभु
हम डेली रिसाइड करते हैं ना, क्लास के बाद या क्लास से पहले।
ठीक है प्रभु जी।
ठीक है, थैंक यू माता जी।
हरे
नाउ
कृष्ण।
दासिनी प्रभु, यू कैन क्लोज दिस सेशन।
Thank you, Prabhuji. Thank you, devotees, for joining.